Okay, so today we're on a Kia Sportage, doing a front spring, front disc and pads. It's got a snap front spring, so I'll switch around. Show you how to get this off first. So first things first, you want to get it up on axles so it's nice and secure, both sides. We'll undo this, 17mm. This is a new one, so it's got the Allen key in the middle. These nuts, when they come new, do have locking tie in it, the blue locking tie. So best to heat it up a bit to melt that, so it'll come off. As you keep trying, it'll get harder and harder as the locking tie gets all into the threads between the nut and the thread. So yeah, heat it up, or your Allen key will round off. As you see the blueness, now you can see that there. Then you want to undo these two here, 17mm this side, 19mm nut this side. You need to undo both of them. I got carried away, I just wanted to get these cracked off as I need it done as soon as possible. So yeah, crack these off, undo them, just tap them out, these will come out, undo that, that top one off, there. Right, your brake hose goes in like that, and it has the horseshoe clip on, what holds it in. Just get a screwdriver and just tap it out, that'll pop out there. That pops out, in like that. Just pop it out, that'll pop out, pull your brake pipe through like that, free that off. Then you got your ABS sensor here, that's 10mm bolt here, just undo that, that pops off there out of the way. So then soon these are out and that's off, the bottom's ready to come out, so I'll get these off, then I'll be back. So once you got that off there, like I say, be careful, there is blue locking tie on these, heat it up, but just heat the nut, try not to get the heat on the rubber behind or you end up melting it. So just keep it on a few seconds, take it off, you'll see it bubbling out anyway. Undo it, it'll start getting tight again, heat it up a bit, you see it bubbling, undo it a bit, just keep doing that if you don't want to melt that back rubber or heat up the oil in it, or grease, sorry. Undo these T-bolts here, undo the two 10mm either side, just to free off your cable. That's the shock virtually ready to come out, so we'll go to the top. So there's the top of the shock. So we've got 3 here. I'm sure it's only 3 to undo these. I think this is just an air, but maybe 4. Soon see. I'm sure there's 3 on here. Just these, this one here, that one, and this one. But yeah, so we'll undo them. These should be 13mm. I'll have a look. So the 14s. You just want to get them on the ratchet, crack all these open. This back one is going to be a pain to get in, so you need a 40mm spanner for that back one and that one. So I'll go get a ratchet spanner. So it is just them 3 bolts and the shock just pulls straight out. As you can see here, shock, well, the spring is snapped. Clean brake, I bet that went with a bang when the piece come out. So yeah, gonna order that spring. When you're ordering it will say for the chassis LOK, the 11th. Yeah, look at your VIN number and it's your 11th number or your 11th letter along. Right, I don't want to show you his details, but it will start with a letter, number, letter, few numbers. It's the 11th one, that's the L or a K. On this one it's an L, so when you order it and it says for the chassis L or K, then you know, so this is going to be for the L. Right, like I say, I'm doing the disc and front pads on here as these are knackered as well, especially this side. I think the caliper seized up on this. Don't know if you get that, it looks like a waves at it. That is proper gun. Don't know what he's been doing on that, but I reckon the caliper is seized with heat and that and clamped on. So yeah, gonna have to replace both disc front pads, but that will be on a different video to this. Just gonna do the shock, then do the brakes and disc on a different vid. So yeah, and I order that shock now, so for you it'll be a split second, for me it'll be tomorrow. So it's following day, just put a new spring on. Customer just wanted the spring replacing. So yeah, it is 20mm bolt at the top. I already took it off, forgot to film it. But yeah, you need some spring clamps like that. I'll show you in reverse, putting the new one on. But exactly the same way as taking the old one off. Let me show you the old one. Here's the old one. As you can see, snapped right there, right on this little spring here. So yeah, so it snapped around about here, just this section here. It's parted way. So yeah, there we go. So we're going to do now, clamp this one up, put it on, put this back on, put these back on, bolt it down, fit it back to the car. So your clamps go on, the hook on there, hook on the top. You don't want to put it around near the bottom here, or near the top, or you ain't going to be able to get them out when it sits in here or in the top section. So yeah, it's just like the 3 middle springs here, either side. You want your clamps, tighten them up, like a few turns on that, few turns on that, keep going till you can get your spring on and enough to get your top caps on and your bolt. So when you're putting your spring on, this ain't fully clamped down yet. As you see, I've got a long way to go. So these will probably be joined together. See your spring, end of your spring here, it's got to go against this metal lip here. That pushes against there. So yeah, don't forget, when you loosen it back off, that edge has got to sit. It's that little metal lip there. Make sure your rubber's on all the way around and your spring sits in that rubber. So yeah, carry on tightening this up. So as soon as you got it wind down enough, you put this cap on. Right, this cap, see there's a straight bit on this black bit here. That goes, get this off, against the straight bit on there, see that? And a straight bit in there, and that sits on there. Don't forget that little nibble bit goes on the end over here. So you see you got all that lined up, put it on. So once that's on there, sits in, I'll give this a good clean, may drop a bit of grease in there as well. Put it back on, put your bolt back on. So when you're tightening this up, you're going to make sure your tube don't move. Normally they'll have like an Allen key in the top. You put your Allen key in toward the centre to do it. But I've got it alright, it's all tightened nicely. And that, if you can, just try and hold your tube there. Don't grip nothing around it because you'll end up knocking your tube. Just try and hold it. You only need it enough so it holds nice and tight. As you can see, it's all sweetie. So yeah, I'm going to loosen these off now. Make sure it sits in that bottom nicely against that when I put it all back in, and sits in the rubber nicely. Then it's just fitting back on the car. So there you go, new spring on, all bolted up. Don't forget to put your black cap back in the top, wherever I put that. There we go, one black cap. That goes back in the top there to protect that nut. So yeah, there we go. Like I say, I normally change both springs, both shock absorbers. If it's my vehicle, and I advise customers, if you're going to do it, you replace both sides and both shocks. You might as well while they're off. But as this customer has only got one start spring and he needs discs and pads and all that, the price is high. So he's turned around and said, just do one spring for now, we'll go from there. So yeah, only replacing one spring, the broken one, and we're not replacing the shocks. So yeah, there we go. That's the spring on. Now what I've got to do now is go fit it to the car. So to put it back on, you want to make sure that's pointing forward, so it hooks onto there. Try and do this one-handed, it's a bit of a nightmare. So yeah, make sure that's pointing forward. Try and make sure these match jaws at the top, and just lift it back up and put the nut back on. You can just get the nuts just to tighten on all three, and you're all good. So that's the top all bolted up. Like I say, make sure this is straight like this. Make sure you clean your threads and that. Put a bit of grease on. All I've got to do is put that back in there, lift it up and bolt it back on. There we go. That's the spring replaced on the shock absorber on a Kia Sportage. Don't forget to put your horseshoe clip back on here. This needs to pull out and it clips behind. Don't know if you can see that behind that little bit of rubber there to hold your brake pipe on. Don't forget to put these wire back on here, 210mm either side. Make sure these are cranked up nice and tight, and tighten that back up. So there we go, shock absorber done. So there we go, that's that done. Any questions, drop us a comment down below. Next is disc and pads on the front. Any questions, like I say, just drop us a comment. If you want to see the disc and pads doing, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, so when a new video gets released, it comes out, well, you'll get notified it's out. So yeah, like I say, disc and pads are next. That'll be probably next week's video, what will probably come out. So yeah, there we go. Anyway, I'll leave it there for today. See you next time. Stay safe.